Researchers have proven that a new gene editing technique could pave the way towards a cure for sickle cell disease. The disease affects about 5 million people globally. About 75% of cases occur in Africa, where at least 200,000 children are born with the disease every year.
Using a gene editing technique called CRISPR-Cas9, researchers have corrected a genetic mutation that causes sickle cell disease, paving the way towards a potential cure.
We know exactly the mutation that causes the disease, and we know that if we correct that mutation, we will cure the disease.
Sickle cell disease is a painful genetic blood disorder that causes red blood cells to be abnormally crescent-shaped. These cells get stuck in blood vessels, blocking blood flow, which leads to severe pain and organ damage. Scientists focused their efforts on genetically flawed bone marrow stem cells that produce the abnormally shaped cells. Sickle cell anemia affects millions of people worldwide. About 75% of cases are found in Africa, and most commonly among people of West Africa descent. Experts say many children in Africa born with the condition hardly get any screening done, and treatment is often delayed. Parents are being encouraged to take their children for testing and also get tested themselves to find out whether they carry sickle cell genes that could be passed on to their children. Researchers say they've been able to correct the genetic mutation using stem cell samples from people with sickle cell disease. They used the CRISPR-Cas9 to edit out the mutation in the stem cell's genome and replace it with a corrected version. They then implanted these edited cells into a mouse.
We engrafted the cells in the mouse for 4 months, and after 4 months we took them out and we looked at the levels of editing, and we were getting levels of editing consistent with achieving a clinical benefit in patients with sickle cell disease.
It will be some years before this research translates into treatment. The researchers need to scale up the process significantly as well as prove its safety in humans. The ability to edit genes is new in science, and the researchers need to prove that their efforts to cure one disease don't lead to others in the process. But if proven harmless, gene editing could well be the answer to eliminating a host of genetic disorders in the years to come.
Well, Nigeria's Senate has condemned what it describes as the rising cases of jungle justice and lynching. In a motion sponsored by Senator Gbenga Ashafa, the upper legislative house expressed concern about individuals abrogating to themselves the power to condemn others to death and executing judgment without recourse to the law courts. Our correspondent Linda Akigbe reports.
Nigerians woke up last week to disturbing pictures and videos on the internet showing the lynching of a young man purportedly in Badagry, Lagos State. There have been different reports on the identity of the victim, which some say was a 7-year-old boy, and also the location where the killing took place. Although the veracity of the incident has not entirely been proven, what is the fact is that jungle justice occurs regularly in Nigeria. The killing of 4 University of Port Harcourt students is still fresh in the minds of many Nigerians.
Stressed by the rising cases of jungle justice by mobs.
A federal lawmaker in the Senate is drawing the attention of his colleagues to this worrisome trend.
We are still awaiting the confirmation of the Nigerian police as regards the incidents of that mob action in Lagos about the 7-year-old boy who was allegedly accused of stealing Gary, and we should have that at the back of our mind, but we should look at the content of this motion. Horrified that these rising barbaric acts are in most cases perpetrated with a crowd of people watching unperturbed. This is most disheartening and frightening, as each act dehumanizes us as a race.
Lawmakers throw their weight behind the motion.
It is very clear and evident that the it shows the loss of confidence of the people in the security agency to defend them. So they resort to self-defense, and which I think is a bad omen for this government and this country. Many of these cases arise as a result of the abandonment, the neglect, the rejection of our people after elections and when we have taken seat of power.
The Senate is asking the Attorney General of the Federation, the state's Attorney Generals, as well as the police, to show greater sense of duty in apprehending and prosecuting people who engage in lynching and mob action. Linda Kibe, Channels Television News.
Some sports. The rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana continues in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations this evening as both sides seek to win the tournament. Now, with Nigeria defending the title they won 2 years ago in Namibia, coach Florence Omagbemi is certain that her team can win the title. For Ghana, who've lost to Nigeria in the final 3 times, they seek to spoil the defending champions party. Both teams won their opening group games convincingly, with Nigeria beating Mali 6-0, while Ghana defeated Kenya 3-1. Now, a 72-year-old British pilot attempting to fly a 1943 biplane the length of Africa has gone missing somewhere between Sudan and Ethiopia. Maurice Kirk was part of the Vintage Air Rally flying from Cyprus to Cape Town, but had been asked by organizers to withdraw from the event after 2 engine failures and a lack of navigational equipment on his 1947 Piper Cube biplane, but decided to carry on anyway. In a statement, the Vintage Air Rally says that without tracking data, Maurice Kirk's location is unknown, but as an experienced pilot, it's believed he made a precautionary landing before sunset. A search and rescue operation is due to begin. Well, the International Criminal Court's prosecutor says her investigations into alleged war crimes will not be impacted by the plans of 3 African countries to withdraw from the court. Fatou Bensouda says her office would press ahead with the preliminary investigation in Burundi. Gambia, South Africa and Burundi notified the United Nations in October and November of their plans to withdraw from the ICC. The withdrawals become effective 1 year after the notification is filed. To date, all but one of the court's 10 investigations have been in Africa, and its 5 convictions are from Democratic Republic of Congo, Central African Republic and Mali. Well, that's Network Africa. Thank you for watching. I'm Jackie Rogers.